What's up, guys? So today's about nostalgic, classic, timeless feel style fragrances. Now, this is a subject that rings true to me, really scratches me where I itch. You guys know I've been in this game for quite a while. If you just, landing on this page and you're just meeting me for the first time, I'm Max Forti. I love fragrances. And I went full-fledged on, full circle. I went full circle, starting with designer, just like most people, going into niche, indie fragrances, and coming back to the timeless, classy fragrances that I absolutely love, and I'm so glad to have in my collection. It was such a pleasure to put this video together for you guys. I hope that you guys appreciate this because I want it to be a new series on this channel where I will share some of the classic, timeless fragrances of the world that are still relevant today. And if you wear any of these, you'll still smell great. You still smell elegant, sophisticated, so much so that they're still here in the market. They haven't been discontinued for a reason. These are a part of my life. They bring nostalgic feelings. They make me feel great. So I'm glad to share with you the top most timeless fragrances that are still relevant today that you should definitely check out if you haven't already. If you guys want to know what they are, stick around. You're in for a treat. Welcome back to another video. I'm Max Forti. Today, of course, the most timeless, still relevant fragrances to this day. But a few criteria, a few things I took into consideration when I selected these fragrances. Of course, I love the way they smell. I love the nostalgic feel, how they make me feel, all the history attached to them, the emotions, the memories I made with these fragrances. But of course, I wanted to make sure that they're versatile, that they still work today with this timeless elegance, sophistication that they do possess. So I narrowed it down to a few fragrances that I'm glad to share with you today. I'm hoping that you like these series, and if you do like this, you want me to continue these series just like I'm going to do the discontinued for you guys, don't worry about it, don't fret. The discontinued part, I think 4 and 5 are in the works. I'm definitely going to put those videos out for you guys, talking about and highlighting some of the fragrances that are discontinued as of late. Companies that have announced that they've been discontinued, they're no longer part of their fragrance portfolio, so don't worry about it. Those fragrances, those videos are coming out soon. But today it's about timeless, classy fragrances that still work today. So let me know if you guys like this type of video, if you want me to continue this series as well. As always, show me your support if you do show me in the like. If this video hits 500 or more likes, I'll do a part 2. If it hits 1,000 or more likes, I'll do a part 3 and part 4. And by the way, ladies, a handful of you that watch my channel, I will include some of the lady choices for the most iconic, timeless fragrances that still work today. So perhaps I'll do it in the part 3 or part 4, but I'll definitely include some ladies' choices for you ladies out there. So again, if you guys enjoyed this series, leave me a like. That's all, enough babbling. Let's hop into the choices. Starting off with a fragrance here that I absolutely love. It's Steve McQueen's signature scent. It's a lot of great people over the years' signature scent. Very classy, very elegant, and very timeless. Hence the fact that it's in this list here. Released originally in 1966. It has been reformulated a couple of times, but it still has this classy, amazing, elegant feel to it that still works to this day. And I'm talking about Christian Dior's Eau Sauvage. Not Dior Sauvage, but Eau Sauvage, the one that started it all. An amazing fragrance. It's classy. It's got citruses up top with an herbal feel. It's a little bit of green tinge to the fragrance. There is some vetiver here. There's some amber here. But it's got this really grassy green feel to the fragrance. It's so timeless. It's just so elegant, so sophisticated. It's something that will never die. It's classy and sophistication in the bottle. There's something about this fragrance that's just so indulging. My father used to wear this fragrance. I wore this fragrance for many years, and it's definitely one that I think it's the crown jewel of Dior, so much so that it's still kept to this day in their portfolio of fragrances, and it is one of the most, top-selling fragrances. Of course, for an older demographic, when it comes to younger crowd, they're going to go for the Dior Sauvages of the world. But this stuff here cannot be dismissed. If you want to smell classy, elegant, sophisticated, this is definitely going to give you that edge that you're looking for. And I'm saying to you right now, this is still relevant today. It still smells great, and it's still going to get you positive notices, I promise you. Eau Sauvage from 1966 is my first pick right here. Next up, I have a fragrance for you guys that's almost 100 years old. It's soon to become a centenary fragrance. This is a fragrance that I absolutely love. You guys know how much I love leathers, and this is mainly a leather-based scent. There's a lot more to this fragrance, but it was originally released in 1924 from Nice 10, or Niche 10, however you want to pronounce it. This is an absolutely stunning, gorgeous, spicy leather fragrance, guys. This is not going to be for everyone, as a lot of the fragrances here are not going to be for everyone, but I'm telling you right now, the fact that they are still being produced today and still selling pretty well, it goes to show that these fragrances are no slouch. They have a lot to offer. They are classy, they are elegant, they're sophisticated in their own way, and they're timeless, and they're still being requested to this day. Hence the fact that they haven't been axed or discontinued like a lot of fragrances that we see. Perhaps they have been reformulated to conform to today's standards, to try to perhaps, you know, cater to a younger demographic, you know, get new fans and new customers. Or some of the ingredients that went in these fragrances can no longer be attained, like the civet, the castoreum. You know, you can no longer obtain those glands or kill those animals to obtain those such ingredients. However, the fragrance still has that DNA and that profile that we all come to love if you are familiar with these fragrances. And if you try them in the past and you try them now, they're going to smell pretty close to the original thing, perhaps a little less power. You know, maybe you got a day's worth of, you know, when you wore this, you know, 12 plus hours. Now you're going to get maybe 8 or so. It's still very powerful. So Nice 10 is a spicy, leathery fragrance with a floral animalistic undertone. Just an incredible fragrance, gentleman-like, classy, timeless feel. Again, if you love leather fragrances, this is a must-try. It's a little rough and tumble, not going to be for everyone, but sure enough, you're going to smell very sophisticated, elegant, and it's going to give you that old-world, timeless feel that I absolutely adore. Nice 10, or Niche 10, at the second, you know, spot here of the highlights of the timeless, still great fragrances to wear today. When it comes to timeless, elegant fragrances, I think there's 2 brands that you must talk about. One of the brands is definitely this one here, and it's going to be from the house of Guerlain. This particular fragrance originally released in 1959. It has been reformulated, but like I said, the essence, the profile here, it's still here, and it still smells amazing. Whether you go with the Vetiver Eau de Toilette, whether you go with the Eau de Parfum, with the frozen cologne, or whether you go with the original, which this one here is definitely very similar to the original thing. This is green, it's grassy, it's herbal, it's aromatic. What I love about this fragrance is the tobacco that's here. Now, the tobacco is going to be the harsher part of this fragrance, especially in the beginning. It might turn you away, but as the fragrance progresses, that green, grassy, smoky facet of the vetiver will become a little bit more soapy, a little bit more aromatic, definitely extremely wearable, very elegant, very sophisticated. This is as masculine as it gets. This is like arguably one of the best fragrances ever created for, you know, manly, masculine, elegant, dressy type of a scent. I definitely like to wear this on a more dressier occasion, whether I'm wearing like a suit or a blazer, a jacket. I never ever wear this casual. Sometimes I wear it for work, but it's definitely when I want to convey a very well put together, very well tailored, you know, version of myself. So Vetiver from Guerlain from 1959 originally, but still produced today, an absolutely stunning, timeless, incredible fragrance that you ought to know, guys. This next one here has a very special place in my heart. Actually, both my father and mother wore this fragrance, believe it or not. It was originally released in 1978. I didn't come to find out about this fragrance or try it for the first time when I was stealing some sprays from my parents until the mid-80s, but it was very, very popular. It was one of those fragrances that most people where I lived, people that wore this were older gentlemen, people that were in their late 30s to 40s, perhaps, you know, played golf or had a, you know, well-off kind of a life, you know, drove a Lexus or a Mercedes. So when I think about this fragrance, when I think about my childhood, it reminded me of people that were successful, people that were well-resolved financially. So it's a fragrance that I always wanted to own a bottle, and as soon as I could, as soon as I started working, I picked up a bottle, and this is like, now we're going into the early 90s. But, you know, it was released in 1978, but in the 90s, it was still a powerhouse, still very popular fragrance. So much so that is, I think, to this day, the top 1 most selling fragrance from this particular brand. I'm talking about Ralph Lauren, and the bottle I'm talking about is Polo Green, which is their original. This is the classy Polo from 1978. Amazing fragrance that stood the test of time. Now, if we continue this series, you're going to see that the late 70s was a great precursor of great, you know, release fragrances. I'm not going to talk about too much, but late 70s, early 80s were amazing when it came to powerhouse fragrances, and this is definitely one of them. This is an oak moss, leather, tobacco-based scent with cinnamon and pine, coniferous kind of a feel. This is unapologetic leather with tobacco, absolutely powerful in your face, but absolutely distinctive, absolutely sophisticated, elegant, and one of the fragrances that when I smell just brings me to my childhood, just bring me back memories when I went to my first job interview. I was wearing this. It definitely gave you a mature edge, a gentleman feel, very masculine and very rugged, but in the good way. This is not like a hair-chested fragrance. It has some, subtle qualities to it that has this understated, sophistication, elegance to the fragrance that, again, still works to this day. Absolutely stunning fragrance, amazing. One of the best fragrances ever created, iconic status, Hall of Fame, whatever you want to call it. Polo Green from Ralph Lauren from 1978. Incredible, guys. Definitely worth trying. It's not going to be for everyone. It's going to be very powerful, very strong, especially in the beginning. It has been toned down. In 2008, Polo actually made an attempt for a more modern take on this fragrance. They came up with a fragrance called Modern Reserve, Polo Green Modern Reserve, which has been discontinued now. I actually own a bottle of that. It's a little bit creamier. There's more spices and sandalwood infused in this fragrance, making it a little bit more modern, hence the fact Modern Reserve. But no questions asked, guys. The original is incredible, definitely worth checking out. It's still relevant today. It's still gonna get you smelling incredible, especially in the colder weather. I wanna say early spring, fall, and winter. If you're somewhere where the weather gets crisp and cold, this works miracles. It's an absolute stellar fragrance. As my second to last mention here at the top iconic timeless fragrances you should try. So the last pick here for this video, as you're gonna see, there's gonna be a common theme here. Most of this fragrances, except for citrus aromatic, herbal, which is Eau Sauvage, everything else here had a leather, tobacco, or stronger, powerful note to it, which I absolutely love when it comes to my personal taste. Woody, spicy / oriental fragrances are my favorite, so I love spicy tobacco, leather, vetiver, and oak moss. Those are definitely going to be my favorite notes of all time. So, and if there's a boozy facet in the fragrance, I actually really enjoy. Nothing here is going to be boozy. I think, back in the day, they weren't really using boozy kind of facets and profiles in the fragrances, which is fine. These are extremely powerful and great fragrances that I absolutely adore. Now, the last pick here is from 1990. I have two bottles. I have one that's a little older, one that's going to be a more current formulation. And it's, of course, Egoist by Chanel. This was released in 1990. There's a very predominant rosewood note in here. There's mahogany wood. So there's some woods here. There's some rose. It is an absolutely stunning fragrance. It smells so good. Actually, you know what? This is going to be my scent of the day today. It is so sophisticated. There's a little bit of the aldehydic feel that we get with Chanel fragrances, but it's ever so slight. It's in the background. There's rose here. There's definitely some floral aspects to the fragrance. My wife actually loves this fragrance on me. Every time I wear this fragrance, I get positive remarks. It goes to show, a fragrance that's been over 30 years old, it still does its miracles today in 2020. So I would suggest, guys, get your nose on this. It's still readily available out there, but it's definitely a timeless classic fragrance that's still available today for a reason. It still works today. You can dress this up, dress it down. Most of the fragrances here I like to wear a little bit dressier. Not so much decked out in a three-piece suit or a tie, but at least wearing a nice shirt or, putting my best foot forward, if you will. I think these fragrances have this elegance and sophisticated, very classy vibe to them that I think you should wear them when you really want to put your best foot forward. And Egoist is no different, guys. I absolutely love this one. It is one of my favorites from Chanel, along with Antheus. I think these are my two favorite Chanels of all time, with Pour Monsieur being right there with them. Of course, Bleu de Chanel is great. There's a lot of new stuff that works really good, especially when it comes to Les Exclusives. But from the regular signature line for men, I think Egoist, Antheus, and Pour Monsieur are definitely classic, timeless fragrances that you should try. Of course, aside from that rosewood that I talked about and the mahogany wood, it's safe to say that there's also tobacco here that's very, very well blended along with the rose floral aspect that I talked about, a little bit of the aldehydic feel. There's a gorgeous sandalwood that comes to play here from the heart of the fragrance into the dry down. It just makes this creamy and just very inviting. I think a lady could pull this off, although it's a little bit more masculine. But again, all fragrances here are timeless, incredible fragrances, still relevant today. If you wear any of these 5 fragrances, you're going to smell incredible. You're going to smell amazing. You're definitely going to get positive notices, especially if you wear them well. Now, of course, if you guys appreciate this video, I want to know in a like. Please be sure to leave me a like here. If this video again hits 500 or more, I'll come up with a part 2 and part 3. If it hits 1,000+ likes, I will definitely continue this until part 5 and plus other different classy fragrances that I want to share with you guys. I have a tremendous list of great classy timeless fragrances that still work today, not only for men but also for women. So if you guys appreciate this video, show me in the like. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Don't forget to show your support. Touch that subscriber button for me. Hit the little bell icon so you get videos like these straight into your feed. I truly appreciate the support. It is the reason why I keep on going here. Of course, I do it because I love it. This is a subject that I absolutely love to talk about. If you guys go back a couple years ago, I talked about classy fragrances, classic releases, but I think this is more of like the iconic series I'm going to be talking to you guys about and sharing hopefully in the next few series the most iconic timeless fragrances for men and women that are still relevant today. So whether you wear these fragrances for the first time because you just discovered them, or whether you wear them because you have nostalgic feelings because your grandpa, your father wore them, or because it's something that you wore in the past that you love to wear today because it's attached to different memories and emotions and it just makes you feel great, it puts you in a great place, no wonder what the reason is. These fragrances are absolutely stunning, they're amazing, they're timeless, and you should definitely check them out, guys. As always, thanks for hanging out with me. Remember, whatever you choose to wear what truly moves you, wear it well. And as always, guys, keep on spraying, and I'll see you guys right back here in another video very soon. Take care.